Hey everybody! So I wanted to go ahead and go over 5WH summarizing with you. So with 5WH summarizing, you are looking at your 5 W's and then 1 H. So who, when, where, what, why, and then of course how. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 things total. So that's what our 5WH looks at. So our 5WH breaks our summary down into a much more concrete factual grouping versus when we did our somebody wanted but so then breakdown. So I was going to look again at the story of Pocahontas, and I of course am looking more at the factual version than the Disney version, and I was using Color of the Wind to be my inspiration for our review. So I wanted to go ahead and just take a second and look at this with you. So if I'm going to look at my who is always my main character, characters, or my protagonists as they are called. So in this particular case, my main character is John Smith and the colonist. Okay, so in the movie, we can talk about the movie some. In the movie, they come over, and their whole thing is that they come from England in the 1600s to Virginia or the New World. So I can put when, I can put my 1600s and Virginia, which is in the New World or in North America. But we're going to use the term New World because that is more accurate for what is being talked about in your social studies class, as well as what they would have called it as well. It wasn't necessarily, they did sometimes call it America, but mostly New World. What is the character trying to do? So this is where I address the conflict. So you notice that I've tried to align these a little bit with somebody wanted but so then. So if you've watched both videos, you'll notice that there's some similarities here. So what is the character trying to do? So in this particular case, John Smith and the colonists are trying to, ooh, it would be helpful if I could spell, are trying to gather resources, and I'm going to be specific. I'm going to put gold, silver. They really wanted precious metals, but we'll include wood because that was a commodity that was running low in Europe at the time because of so many people, and then you have this untouched land of plenty. Okay, so we have, and then what is the conflict? So what are they trying to do, / what's the conflict? So this would be our but they know nothing about the New World. So they're coming over, but they really don't know much. They know they want to gather these resources, but they just land in Virginia, and you know, they walk in, they're like gold, and then they come into Virginia in the movie, and there's nothing there. There is nothing there to help them gather up that gold, do what it is they need to do. So they had to learn a lot about this place that they were going to survive in, potentially. So why is the character trying to do this? So this is where we're going to talk about our character's motivation. So a lot of things can be found in our character motivation. A lot of the character can be revealed through this. So that's where we're trying to figure out what kind of person is our character. So in John Smith's case, he was trying to go to the New World in order, in the movie, he's there for discovery and everything else, but they really want to get rich. So the colonists want to get rich, and they want to survive. There's no point in getting rich if you can't make it back to England, right? There's no point. So they want to survive. So then our how really focuses in on what does our character do to fix this problem. How does the character try to solve the problem, and how is the conflict resolved? So you notice I have a couple colors here. I'll explain the colors to you guys in just a second in another video where I'm really going to break down something for you guys. But we're really looking at how does the character try to resolve this problem, and how does the character try to solve it. So in this particular case, the colonists get together and they learn enough to survive. The colonists learn enough to survive by getting help from Pocahontas, and then of course the other Pocahontas. That's a name you gotta learn how to spell. They learn enough to get help by getting help from Pocahontas. They eventually, so this is a long game here, eventually take over the New World and force the Native Americans from their homes. So this is all stuff that will happen. So that's kind of how the conflict is resolved. They learn enough to survive by relying on Pocahontas, and then eventually they take over the New World and survive. So I just put that in there for a little bit of historical context for you. But really, you could have said they learn enough to survive by getting help from Pocahontas, and that's how the conflict's resolved as well. Do they ever find gold? Not really. They do not find gold. So they don't even get to do that part. So this is kind of just how the 5WH works. So you think about the who is my protagonist, when and where. So this is where you think about, okay, what's my setting? The what is the character trying to do, and which is a lot of times the conflict. Okay. And then why. So this is where we think about our character motivation. Why are they trying to do whatever it is they're doing? And then finally, we think about our how. So how are they accomplishing what they're doing? How are they accomplishing what they're doing? And then that's how you break it down into a summary. So in our next video, you should see a link to a little video that explains to you how I broke down our summaries on the next slide. And I hope that you find that video helpful as well. All right, bye.